Have you ever wondered what Apple would be like today if Tim Cook was never CEO and Johnny Ive succeeded Steve? There'd probably be a lot more of butterfly switches and touch bars and cylindrical, odd-looking computers that are very unique, and a lot less attention and detail on things like ports and bulkiness and specs. In a lot of ways, Apple would have much more soul under Johnny Ive than it would Tim Cook, and you almost sort of wonder what would happen with Apple today if Johnny Ive was CEO. But actually, we don't have to wonder. We kind of got a taste of it a couple of years ago, and it basically broke the internet. Apple in 2013 was kind of in a similar situation to where it is today. They were coming off of some major software debacles. Who remembers the whole Mapgate issue that forced Scott Forstall out of Apple, and replacing him as head of Apple software was Johnny Ive. This was, as far as I can remember, the first time that Johnny Ive went from just being the main designer of Apple's hardware and sort of its products and the exterior to the actual software, the digital infrastructure, and boy oh boy, did he have some big changes to make. Up until then, Apple's iPhone software, and even I guess iPad back then and the Mac, it was all very skeuomorphic. Some would even call it lickable. Things looked very lifelike, whether it was reel-to-reel tape recorders, or whether it was fake leather in the Notes app and other things. It was very unique, very lifelike in a sense, and it was just sort of out of place as the world of Android and Samsung and other manufacturers just were going with a lot more of a modern, flat design aesthetic, so Apple needed to make some major changes to catch up and compete. And it was under Johnny Ive that Apple decided to make their biggest iOS redesign ever and revealed iOS 7, which remains to this day one of the most controversial iPhone software updates ever, because the redesign basically split the Apple community. Some people really liked the new modern and let's just call it very flat design. Basically everything changed, the icons changed, the menus changed. It was just a large departure from where we had been before. And on the other hand, people absolutely hated it. They hated the lack of usability, they hated the design, they felt it was very much form over function, and iOS was kind of broken. And it would take a couple of years for iOS to get back on track after that update, but it was a big redesign that Apple was hoping people would love, and almost everyone kind of hated it. And ultimately, we know how this story goes. Shortly thereafter, a couple years later, Johnny Ive departs Apple, and Apple sort of has a design crisis. And over the years, they've run into some very big problems. And again, they're running into a big reputational crisis where they need a big redesign and they need it fast. Whether it be issues with Apple Intelligence, or it's the lack of innovation in terms of new products, whether it's sort of the dud that is Vision Pro, or a myriad of other legal issues, Apple is desperately in need of some good PR right now, and they're hoping yet another redesign for the iPhone and the iPad and the Mac in terms of a big software update will hopefully solve a lot of their big problems, which leads us to the latest rumors on iOS 19 or iOS 26 or whatever we end up, getting the official name being. According to leaks, this is set to be one of the iPhone's biggest software redesigns ever, basically as big, if not bigger, than iOS 7 back in 2013. Basically this time though, Apple is kind of in a sense going back to like the iOS 6 days. Things will be a little bit more lifelike, a little more lickable, to use that weird word. But basically they're taking, or at least rumored to be, a lot of visual cues from Vision OS and Vision Pro. So we'll have a lot more translucency. We'll have, is that a word? Translucency, transparency. We'll have a lot more of lifelike sort of imagery built into the iPhone software. We're rumored to be getting circular killer app icons for the first time ever on the iPhone, and basically Apple is really trying to make the iPhone feel fresh and new and different, and sort of reinventing the iPhone software and really iPadOS and macOS for the next sort of couple of years to come. It's been quite some time since a major redesign has happened, and that's supposed to change in just a couple of days. And on one hand, this could be a very welcome change. I mean, I'll be honest, I love the iPhone software, but it's been a little stale as of the last couple of years. And yeah, Apple has tried to make some strides in customization and giving you some more control over your phone, but I think that sometimes a fresh coat of paint might just be exactly what the doctor ordered, and that could be a really nice welcomed addition, especially if it's anything like what these concepts and rumors suggest it would be. I'm all in. This looks really, really nice. And honestly, Apple should probably hire some of these people because they come up with better concepts and ideas than the actual Apple developer team, but maybe that's another story for another day. The flip side, though, to that is that while this redesign could be good, it also opens Apple up to a ton of vulnerability and liabilities in a couple of areas. Number one is if the software redesign isn't as well received as Apple would like, and if it doesn't look all that great, that could not be good. And the second big problem is that many are saying that iOS just fundamentally is not stable. You can't rely on it. It's buggy. There are issues. And if Apple's going to redesign the look of it, that's great. But if they don't spend time fixing the core problems and the core issues and the bugs, then we're basically getting a fresh coat of paint that feels like a lipstick sort of on a pig move, where it looks different, but the core issues still remain, which hopefully isn't the case. But sometimes with Apple, it's like one or the other. Either they're going to double down and give us a snow leopard year and fix a lot of problems, or they're going to do a big redesign but not touch any of the fundamental issues. Hopefully it's maybe a little bit of both. So far, all the hints and clues that Apple has given us seem to basically track with these leaks and rumors. The WWDC invite and sort of the graphics for this year are very Vision OS-like, and also Apple saying sleek peek instead of sneak peek. I mean, yeah, we're getting a redesign. That seems to be basically what they're saying without actually saying it, and it should be very interesting to see. And I think software redesigns aside and whatever the naming thing might be, overall, the stakes could not be higher for WWDC this year, especially given just the disastrous rollout of Apple Intelligence and the legal battles Apple has had. It's been a very bad year for Apple, a lot of PR blunders, and they really need to get things right. And one of the things I'd like to see them do, and I think many of us would like, is a little humility. I don't think that Apple's going to say anything. They're probably going to try to sweep all the controversy under the rug and sort of move on as per usual. But it would be nice, and I think a lot of people would like, for Apple to sort of be a little bit more human. And, even just a little 30-second thing saying, hey, we acknowledge that, we kind of messed up with Apple Intelligence, didn't go as planned. We're committed to offering the best experience possible. It's going to take a little longer. We apologize. Thank you for your patience. We promise it's going to be worth the wait. Just some kind of accountability and some sort of public apology, or at least acknowledgement that things didn't go right, would be really nice to see. And I think that would definitely sort of help with some of the controversy brewing right now. Curious to see what happens with the software, and I'm curious for you guys, what do you want to see? Do you think we'll see any big Apple Intelligence announcements? Do you think we'll get some big software redesign? Do you think Apple's going to sweep all the controversy under the rug? Drop a comment down below and let me know. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. I'm Robert Rosenfeld. I'll see ya in the next one.